circus. People have to realize that this is not Ali v Foreman. This isn't Tyson v Holyfield. And this ain't Canelo versus Triple G, which is going to be an explosive fight. This is a circus because if you know you're boxing, this is a stupid fight. And I've been thinking to myself that how they were able to sell this, I find amazing. How they were able to bamboozle and convince people to actually buy this fight, I find incredible. But it's the novelty of it that has people curious. And all you need to do in any of these events is get people curious, get them excited. Get people curious, get them excited. And people are curious because this has never happened before. Two kings of different sports coming together in under one sport. So it's weird because it's almost as if, perfect example, if Roger Federer played against the best table tennis player and they played tennis, or they played table tennis, who would win? Actually, that's actually a pretty good idea. Actually, why did they do that? Who would win? So that in itself, it's interesting. Or the best 5 players in the world of football against the 5 best players in the world of beach football. Let them play a match on a 5-sided pitch. Who would win? So I think the whole thing about this is that people are like, it's something that we've not seen before. A guy who is seen as one of the best fighters in UFC against arguably the best defensive fighter that the sport of boxing has ever seen. So if you were just to use your brain, there is no chance of McGregor to win because this is boxing. Boxing is a sport that has rules, and it's an art form, because boxing just isn't just a thugged out fight. No, there are rules within boxing, and it's an art form. It's a science. That's also what Bernard Hopkins actually famously said, is that this is a science. And you're having a guy who has his first professional boxing fight. But the longer I've been thinking about this, because for so long I'm saying that to McGregor, this is going to be a mismatch. This is stupid. He has no chance. Because a lot of people have said that Mayweather will toy with him. I'll be looking at First Take, Undisputed, and especially in First Take, Max Kellerman, obviously, huge, amazing boxing analyst. He says that Mayweather will toy with him, and he'll actually pretty much, and the fights will be stopped in the 7th round. I think this is going 12 rounds. I don't see Mayweather knocking out McGregor. I just don't see that. Because again, for Mayweather, when I say he knock a guy out, and he's not really known for knocking guys out, and I just don't see Mayweather getting knocked out by Mayweather. So, and I think by it going 12 rounds, that in itself will almost be a victory for McGregor, that he was able in his first ever boxing fight to take one of the legends of the sport to 12 rounds. And I think, people can use the excuse of he's a lot older, he's not really in his prime. McGregor is a lot younger. That doesn't mean anything. Mayweather has no business being in a 12-round fight with a guy fighting his first ever professional boxing fight. But I think, what, and I've heard this many times, and this is true, a puncher's chance. Everybody has a puncher's chance. If you're strong enough, which McGregor is, based on how he's used his boxing skills in the UFC. If he gets a clean shot, and for some reason, through all the decks and all the 49 fights that Mayweather has had, he just has a lapse in concentration. A lapse, he opens himself up, and boom. Because I don't know whether it was against Mosley or someone where, was the only time that Mayweather really got rocked, and he had that momentary lapse of concentration, and Mosley almost knocked him out. So that may happen again in this fight. So I just think that, for McGregor knows that I think he's going to make the fights ugly. He's got to make it nasty. He's going to do a lot of holding, and he's got to really try to frustrate Mayweather and get to a point where he can get in on the inside and just get one clean shot, because he's going to go for the knockout. I don't think McGregor is that skilled to be able to out punch Mayweather. But as I say this, who knows, guys? Because everyone is saying that there's no point in buying this, there's no point in watching because you already know what will happen. But do you really want to miss possibly one of the biggest shocks in sporting history? Because if by some miracle McGregor knocks out Mayweather or straight up defeats him either on points or by a knockout, that'd be one of the greatest sporting upsets ever. Ever. So yeah, man, like, again, for me, the fight I'm most excited about 100% is Canelo against Triple G. That is the fight that I'm really going to be like, okay, no, I'm actually here to watch a fight, because again, that is so close to call. That is the fight I really want to watch. Canelo v Triple G is going to be insane. I'm just watching this because I'm curious. I'm just curious to see what will happen, because I'm like, I don't want to miss McGregor potentially defeating Mayweather. But as I said again, and many people have said this, 49 have tried, 49 have failed. There's a reason why it's called Money Mayweather, and I expect Mayweather to do this on points. I don't think there'll be a knockout. But then again, who knows? Who knows?